Hey everyone, it is the Athletic Geek, and I am getting ready to head out on my next comic shop adventure. Last week was a pretty decent week. Really enjoyed the new Batman arc that was going on, where it's definitely a Batman in a different universe, where you have Batman, his parents are still alive, and it I kind of really, the problem with kind of giving these reviews, it's hard to really explain without giving away too much. And I really, rather than give too much away, I want to get you guys to go out and buy the book from last week if you can still get some at your local comic shop. But the start of the new Batman arc was very good. The continuation of the Green Lantern's arc with what's going on with Jessica Cruz's memories is very good, and it continues to be a very strong book. Those were my two really big standouts from last week's pull list, and then unfortunately one of the more hyped ones of last week was Action Comics number 1000, and it was a nice love letter to Superman. If you aren't aware of what the book was, there was like several short stories from different writer and artist combinations, and they would just tell different stories about Superman. And there were some good ones in there. There were nice little short stories. It was a great love letter to that character. Unfortunately, one of the weakest ones was my opinion, the Brian Michael Bendis story, which was the one that's supposed to be the most important and lead into the new issues of Superman going forward, and the new outlook of the character going forward. But I'm still going to read it because, Bendis writing Superman, he's been with Marvel for so long. The name intrigues me to follow the book, but if it ends up not being worth the hype, I'm gonna let them know. But I mean that with no disrespect to anybody, but that's just the way it's gonna be. But that's pretty much everything that stood out this week. Got a lighter pull list that I'll discuss when I get back to Athletic Geek HQ, if you will. And then I'm also going to go see Avengers tonight, so on the day I'm shooting this. So going to be a very superhero-oriented day. I will be back with the Bounty of the Comic Shop Adventure, Saga, Detective Comics will be on the pull list this week, among others, and we'll go over all when I get back here. So in the meantime, it's time for me to go on my way. Hey everyone, it's the Athletic Geek back at the homestead, back at Athletic Geek HQ, and boy, it was a long one. It was the adventure led into late night viewing of Infinity War. Dare I say, an emotionally draining one too. After seeing that movie, you'll have to check out the full review on the Facebook page at www.facebook.com/athleticgeek89. But without any further ado, it's time to look at the bounty of this week's comic shop adventure. We're going to start off with one of my favorite books, Batman Detective Comics number 979. I said before, the two different warring bat factions, if you will, continue their issue, and really looking forward to reading this. And then we go to The Flash, number 45. Finally, the War of the Flashes is done, and it says, finally, Wally West revealed. There's been two different Wallys since the DC Rebirth. There's been the New 52 Wally, who's an African-American, and then they have the original Wally from pre-New 52, the one that was actually the original Kid Flash and the Perez Wolfman Teen Titans, and, just Kid Flash. But after Crisis on Infinite Earths, when Barry Allen was killed, Wally took up the mantle as the main Flash for many years until the Flash Rebirth, not the DC Rebirth, bear with me here, but the Flash Rebirth, which brought Barry back into continuity. I'm going to divulge deeper into Wally, and Wally was a great character, but I actually remember Wally being my first Flash. Even before I became familiar with Barry, when I first got into comics, Wally was the main Flash, and I was introduced to him before I was able to check out Barry. So I'm all about anything with Wally West, and especially this version of Wally West. Not that I dislike the other one. The other Wally's very good too, and he's the catalyst for the Wally on the show. But this is my childhood Wally, and really looking forward to reading that. We also have Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps, number 43. The Dark Star Rising storyline continues, and Tomar has betrayed the Corps, and I'm interested to see where the story goes from there. Not much really needs to be said there. And then finally, we have... nope, I shouldn't say finally. We have Terrifics number 3. I've really been enjoying this book so far, the first 2 issues. Just with all these different... I don't really want to say B-level DC heroes, but I mean B-level DC heroes being written in such a fun, unique way, in a very unique story. You got Mr. Terrific, Metamorpho, Plastic Man, Tom Strong is all in this book, and it's I really don't know how to describe it. It's just really, really good. It's just a really, really good team-up book, and it's like, it's not as... it's not like the Titans, but it's not like the Justice League. It's not like the Avengers on the Marvel side of things. It's just a really, really good team-up book with characters that you wouldn't really think to... They're definitely not the A-list, and you wouldn't really think, are the top characters, anybody you'd really want to go out of your way to read, yet here they are, leave it to Jeff Lemire to be able to write a fantastic book like this. But Terrifics number 3, we got the Titans Annual number 2. Finally, the storyline with the No Trust and issues with Donna, issues with Ray is coming to a head here in this annual book. I'm usually not a big fan of annuals because normally annual books, they're just side stories. Some of them, annuals in the history of comics, have been very important. They've introduced new characters. But for the most part, a lot of times they just are kind of side stories and breaks from the original story. This is actually a conclusion, so we're really looking forward to reading this one. And to wrap things up on the DC side of things, we have Teen Titans number 19. Beast Boy's gone rogue. He's evil. Something's messing with his mind. My heart just aches. My heart aches, to see Beast Boy like this. But it's a really good story, and like how it's gotten there, and you feel sympathy and anger, and it's been a really solid book. So far with the storyline, I really hope they keep it up. All right, that concludes the DC side of things, and we have the lone Marvel title from this week's poll. We have the Despicable Deadpool number 299. The Marvel Universe kills Deadpool, and I probably incorrectly in past videos said that it was concluding, but so I guess, eventually I'm going to say it's going to conclude, and it'll be the conclusion, right? But anyway, still it's been really, really, Dugan really carries, does a good job balancing or doing the right kind of humor for Deadpool. He brings in the humor and the, what can bring in somebody who's looking for a fun book, but also has good action that he can bring in that other type of reader as well. And he's done that in his entire Deadpool run. He did the same thing on his Guardians of the Galaxy run. But yeah, it's been a pretty solid book. I'm not going to call it the top book at Marvel, but it's just always been, consistently good to great. And if this is the conclusion, then I'm interested to see how this the Marvel Universe kills Deadpool ends, and where they go from here. And if it's not, well, 300 seems like a well-rounded number to end the story arc. So we'll see, and maybe I'll remember to report that back to you on next week's adventure. And then finally, to wrap things up, we have Saga Chapter 51. This is my lone Image book that I read. This is also, I guess, my lone non-Big 2 one I read. And Saga's always been very good. I remember another YouTube video about picks of the weeks and weekly pull lists and what have you. Way back in 2012 is how I first discovered Saga, and I found the first volume of the trade paperback, and I got hooked. And at that time, Saga was on, like, they take breaks. It's like a TV show. So I was able to jump, read the trade and then jump by a couple issues and be able to jump right in. And it's always been very good. Like any TV show, it has its ups and downs, but for the most part, it's a really solid story. And I don't have enough time in this video to explain the whole story, but it was described to me as, think of Game of Thrones meets Star Wars, and that's not a bad comparison at all. It's a very accurate comparison. So I have several trades if you want to, because it's probably too late to get on the single issue bandwagon, and number one is going for a lot of money on eBay, but always digging Saga, and Fiona Staples, Brian K. Vaughan, always bring their best to this book, and I always enjoy it. I always enjoy getting when Saga's on the pull list. But that is it for the my pull list for this week. Let me know what you got from your local comic shop this week down in the comments section below. Be sure to like the Facebook page at facebook.com/athleticgeek89. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, like the video, and be on the lookout for more content from all things geek culture. And I'll see you next time. I'm out.